Hey you guys, my name is Sarah and I am from Antigua Floral and Styling. We're so excited that you guys are here with us today. Oh man, what a day. Thank you so much. I want to thank you for your patience and understanding for during this time. We are experiencing some technical difficulties, but we figured it out. We're gonna roll with it. Things are working out. So let's jump right in. All right, before anything else, I want to present to you guys our little Buena bouquets of the week. A few ingredients. We got a few fellas over here, a few coral peonies and stock and roses. And you know what? Probably one of my favorites of this week is this apricot soft peach peony. I can't wait to use her in weddings for next May. I'm telling you, this is one of those flowers that I discovered this season, locking it in my mind forever. I'm using it for next May. You just wait. Beautiful, beautiful fella. And last but not least is also a personal favorite, talking about flowers, this good old sweet pea. Look at this guy. And also she's got such a fragrant and lovely, lovely scent. So love her. It's like nature's natural perfume. Okay, so let's jump right in. Today we are talking with the lovely and talented Brooke Casey from Brooke Casey Weddings. I would say that I met Brooke, I want to say 2015, 2016. I can't even keep count. This girl is probably one of the most talented wedding planners that I have worked with personally. She not only is just like a wedding planner and marks everything off, but she just goes up and beyond for her clients. And I wouldn't even call them clients, I would just call them for her couples, her bride, her tribe, like this girl. So without further ado, I want to bring in Brooke from Brooke Casey Weddings. Hey girl!
Hi guys. How's it going?
So glad you're with us. Thank you for being with us. Oh man, I'm telling you, when I first met Brooke, I thought she was the cutest thing. She's got like this southern belle, but like, you know, but she will tell you how it is and she will snap her fingers and she will just be honest, but then she does it with such a delightful, like polite manner of herself. Man, love Brooke, love Brooke. Brooke has a incredible husband, Mitchell, that we'll see him once in a while on his setups. Not only that, they only have two cute pups. What are their names?
Macy and Levi.
Macy and Levi. If you want puppy photos, besides the wedding, but you want puppy photos, go ahead, follow Brooke, see her posts and everything. They go up and beyond. God, they're so cute. Love them, love them. Okay, I'll stop talking. Brooke, tell us a little about yourself and your journey and your business and how you got started.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually had multiple jobs within the wedding industry whenever I first started. So I've always loved weddings, and I never really thought that it was an option as far as a career goes until I saw people that I knew in the wedding industry. And so I started working for a hotel downtown, and then it was kind of like a part-time thing. And I was also working for our friends at Luminous Events, and I was working for another planner at the time. So I was just hustling, and I also worked for Race and Religious. So I really just hustled and tried to figure out like where my place was in this industry and what I really loved. And then around, I think it was 2014, I had a few friends who really encouraged me to start my own business. And that's what I love about our community is there's so much support and so much love for everybody, and everybody's just extremely supportive of everyone just following their dreams and finding their own path. And so that's what really gave me the confidence to branch out and do my own thing.
Ah, I love it. I love it. So true. Gosh. I mean, okay, starting off in this journey, I know we have a few wedding planners that are following with us and have like messaged me like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that Brooke Casey is going to talk. Before anything else, we've all started somewhere. All right, I want to jump in. What was your first job ever?
Okay, so this is kind of funny, but I worked for Sanderson Farms like right out of college. So my mom had dated somebody for years, and he was a food broker, and his client was Sanderson Farms. And so he always thought I would be really good in sales. And so he said, well, this is what we're going to do. If you can get into the management training program with Sanderson, and then we'll switch you over to sales, hopefully after like a year or so. So I was working at Sanderson and actually working with chickens. And I tell you,
I love it.
I got through like so many of the different stages, but I was having to go to the hatchery next, and they would have to like kill the birds that like weren't like 100%, like they had any deformities or anything. And I talked to Mitchell, who we were engaged at the time, and I just told him, there's no way I'm gonna be able to kill a baby chicken. I'm gonna be arrested because I'm gonna steal all these chickens. We're just gonna have a chicken farm. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So I called my parents. I was like, this is just not for me. And then I was like, I'm leaving Sanderson Farms. I'm gonna be a wedding planner. And they were like, what? So it was quite the pivot, but thank goodness I did. So it all worked out.
Thank goodness you did. I mean, chicken farms and then to the wedding planning. I'm with you, girl.
Right.
I'm with you. I'm with
Yeah.
you. You know, one or the other, you know? If there's you need a chicken wrangler at a wedding, I got you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. I mean, like, seriously, I've done so many weddings with you, and just like, I think that's one of the things about that I will always like give you a shout out for, because like when working with Brooke, she not only just like is just a wedding planner and that's it, but she like goes up and beyond. And when I talk about beyond, like she will talk things through with her clients. I have worked several different weddings with her, and then even like I'll present something like, do you think the client would like this approach? And Brooke will say, I don't think that's them. I don't think that's their vibe. And she'll be like the couple's advocate, or even like I'll show her something. She's like, that is so them. We're gonna go this direction. And you know, we just run with it. I mean, like overall, I mean, I just wanna hear from your thoughts. Like, what is your approach and the process that you do to like better understand your couples and you hear them out and their overall vision for their wedding day?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think everyone's priorities are different. So even when it comes to design, I think there's so much that goes into it that's far beyond just color palette and, you know, what kind of flowers they like. And of course, those are important things. And I think our clients, they don't necessarily know how to like articulate what they want. So it's my job, right, to kind of like get that from them and pull that from them and ask the right questions. So of course, if they have Pinterest, like we all love to hate Pinterest, but if they have a Pinterest page,
Yes.
I'll ask for it just to see like, and that'll kind of give me a good direction on their overall vibe, and then like what their color scheme is and what they were really into. But from there, you know, every venue is so different, and every client's budget is different, and their head counts and their goals. So I like to know we'll schedule a design call where I can just ask them a lot of those questions. Like, okay, so we have 150 people. Is it a seated dinner? Is it a station style reception? How many seats are we realistically trying to fit in this space? If it is a station style, do you want everybody to be somewhat together? And how big are your families? So all of these things, and even the venue capacities, what they have in house, and that kind of comes back to budget. What kind of tables, chairs, and linens and sizes and quantities do they have, and what we're trying to spend the budget on? What's the most important thing? And even if people say that decor isn't important, it always, when it comes down to it, it is important. So once we start designing everything, because some people will tell me those things like, oh, flowers die, and I'm like, yes. But then whenever I send them their photos, they're like, oh, we absolutely love this. We have to have this. So it's really funny whenever we're talking about priorities. Everything's a priority, but some things are just more important than others. So like we were talking about Christina and Chris, their wedding, for example, they were having a station style reception. It was going to be at Brennan's, and I absolutely love Brennan's, but there's so much going on. There's so much personality in those rooms. So I didn't want to really take away from, yes, love it. So we didn't want to take away from the whole feeling of that venue, because every room, like you have this blue room, you have a purple room, you have this red room, and it all works, but there's so much to see. And I think the rooms themselves provide their own form of entertainment. So we knew that the guests weren't going to necessarily be looking at the centerpieces. They were going to be looking at the space as a whole. And I didn't want to take away from that, and I didn't want it to be too busy. So we definitely went with a more neutral color palette. We went with pretty simple centerpieces. And then we were like, okay, so we have these really simple centerpieces, but we need these big, and you always say moments, which I think is so cute. So Like we need these
There's a
big
floral
moments.
moment here, a floral
Yes,
moment there. It's great.
yes. And so that I love that you said that. And I think we make a really good team because I feel like you and I get each other and we know like what we're trying to achieve. So
Okay.
whenever I was talking to you and I said, we need some wow factor because the centerpieces are going to be pretty simple. So I don't know if anyone's done anything similar to what we did at Brennan so far. This was my first
Yeah.
wedding there. But yeah, we loved it. And their guests truly walked in and their mouths just like their jaws hit the floor. And that was like such a good feeling. And I know they kept sneaking away to take pictures, like all the couples throughout the night. They ended up saying like that was just so incredible, and it was so romantic, and people have those photos framed in their homes, and I just think that that's such a special thing that we were able to create for them.
Yeah. Oh man. And then for those who don't live in New Orleans, Brennan's, this is the main entrance going upstairs up to the reception area where everyone's going to have, their dinner and everything. But that was a fun, like, just entrance that we wanted, like, it's just a dramatic moment. Okay, I say that a lot. But it's just a dramatic, like, spot for them to just walk in and just like their guests are just like, aha. And kind of like you see in this photo, like the centerpieces are a bit more simple. Yes, we have like a bit more contained centerpieces with the candles. We did do a small decor on the mantle, this fun little fella overflowing. We love that one. Gosh, that was a good one. And all these photos are of our Tasha Ray photography. That girl, talented lady,
Love
talented
her.
lady. Love it. Okay, so on one spectrum with some couples will have like the white, the green, the classic feel, and then instead of just focusing on the centerpieces, we'll focus more like on an entrance or and just an installation overall. See, oh yeah, so when guests first walked up, that was the first thing that they saw. Just seeing that, and I remember Brooke, you said you were like, "Can we do a little something here? Do you think so?" And I remember I was like, I think we just a little something, I guess, but oh, we had fun.
Oh my gosh. I just remember, and you say like, I go above and beyond. You always go above and beyond too. And I feel like I sent you the inspiration photos, and I know we talked about the design, but nothing truly like prepared me for seeing that in person. And I don't think Christina had seen it and Chris hadn't seen it, and I wanted to get their reaction because I knew my reaction had to have been hysterical. I was like, holy smokes. So I ushered them away, and I got Tasha, and I ran. I said, you need to see their faces whenever they see this. They're just going to love it. And so truly having those photos of them enjoying that moment, the two of them like walking up the stairs was so special. And again, it's all about creating memories and like spaces that feel good. And this space it just felt so good, and it was so romantic. And I know it just blew everybody away.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for all of your hard work on that. You truly went above and beyond.
Oh my gosh, girl. No, thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. It was such a fun one. I love them. They're so cool. So cool.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of another cool couple, I'm going to bring up Carmen and Chelsea that we did this past December. I'll let you dive in. Go ahead, chat. Like, this is a whole different spectrum and the color palette, and I'll let you talk. They're so cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I love them so much. And so both of these clients were full service clients. So I got to know them very well, and we still keep in touch, and we're all like friends now, which is great. But these ladies, they wanted something kind of like moody and very romantic. And what's great about Port of Two Sisters is it's such a neutral space. So we could play around with color a little bit more. And they wanted a very intimate seated dinner. And given that they got married in December, it was around the holidays. So yeah, we had a lot of really fun styling flowers to work with for this one. But yeah, what were you saying?
Said fun flowers.
Oh yeah, lots of fun flowers. You always give me the fun ones. So for these guys, we knew that we could bring in a lot of pops of color because Court Sisters truly gave us just a blank canvas to work with. Yes, gave us a blank canvas, so we could have a lot of fun there. And I know with the seated dinner, we don't have so much space. So again, I'm going back to what the client's vision is, but also what the options are in that space. And for both of these weddings, I think they had venues where we just used the in-house tables, chairs, and linens, and we really focused on like the centerpieces for Carmen and Chelsea, and then of course that entryway for Christina and Chris. But so since we knew the bulk of their budget was going towards the centerpieces, they were having a seated dinner where that's where they would spend the majority of their time. So I really wanted to make sure that spatially everything made sense. So we spent a lot of time working on logistics with Sherry at Quarter Two Sisters to really see what layout was the best for flow of service and make sure that bartenders and servers and everybody could easily get in and out of the room to make
Yeah.
sure that was the most important thing, to make sure the flow made the most sense, and then what was possible with design. And I think you guys ended up buying a lot of candles, right, for this one?
It was so fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
We filled that space with candles. We loved it though.
Yes. And I remember sending you the quantities for the candles, and you were just like, oh, wow, okay. Because I said candles are really important. We're going to do a lot of candles. And I sent you like exactly how many I wanted per table. And you're like, oh, dang, okay, yeah, we can order some candles. We got this. So, yes, I really appreciated you expanding your candle collection for us.
Oh, thanks, girl. No, we got all the candles now. I'm ready for it. Hey, I got a question for you from Kayla DeZambo. What percentage of wedding planning is design related versus logistics for you?
Well, so I have some packages that are inclusive of design. So my event management brides don't include design, but
Yeah.
I have a custom package that is a step above event management, but not quite full service, and that would include design services. And then full service clients, of course, is all the bells and whistles. So it really just depends on the package that they choose, but I'm very collaborative with my design clients. They don't just send me the money and say, all right, do your thing.
Yeah.
I really want them to be involved, and I want them to be happy with everything that we end up choosing, and I keep them in the loop the whole way through. But it really prevents the bride from having to go to a floral design meeting, or maybe they'll go to a lighting company and a rental company, and they're just not walking into a warehouse with like 3,000 options.
Yeah.
I kind of cull it down, narrow it down, and make sure that we have a solid design plan going in. So whenever we do a design mock-up, it's super easy to say, all right, so we have this centerpiece, like even for Carmen and Chelsea, we have this centerpiece. These are all the specifics that we picked out. And they told me they loved clear vases, but they thought they really liked cylinders. And then once we saw it on a table, I had recommended floating candles because I thought that they were just a little bit more dainty. And I don't know, to me, that's more of an elevated look. And they agreed once they saw it in person. So I think being able to see everything in person is great, but you're not just starting from the ground up. I'm giving them a great platform to start with. And then if they want to make any swaps, they can.
I love that. No, especially like, again, that's you going up and beyond with the I mean, this is the photo of like all the candles that we have that Brooke requested for this wedding. And we were like, are you sure? And then when we looked at everything, we're like, oh my gosh, this room is stunning. I want to go back to the photo before. I think it was like an altar arrangement where they got ready. So Brooke contacted me. It was like, I think it was, we were like finalizing everything, and you asked him like, do you have any books? Maybe, and I was like, yeah, I have some vintage books. And then you said that books were important to them or something like that. If you want to dive into that.
Yeah. So Carmen, she's an attorney. And so they wanted law books. I think originally they wanted everybody to walk down with a book, like all their bridesmaids to walk down with a book. And it was just like a personal little touch for them. I don't know. And I think it's fun whenever they do pull in their personality. And I was wondering how that was going to work out, but I think it really did. I think it worked well in that space. I think it all really flowed nicely. Yeah.
No, I thought it was such a perfect touch. Like small little, I love small little details like that, like something that is meaningful for them. And we're like, yeah, let's add books into them. And this is, I don't know, I just, overall,
just
I love it.
Touch.
Yeah. And this is a bridal bouquet just with like the dark and the colors, and it was like moody. And I think what's really fun about like working with Brooke is that not only is it like, okay, here's a wedding, and she narrows down like your options, but you're not, like you said, you're not starting from scratch, but it's like, I'm giving you like a few options, and it helps because like, this is something new for everyone. For, when a client first comes to us, they're like, I've never done a wedding before. I don't know, like, where am I going? What am I doing? And then we're like, we do this for a living. We're here to help. So, and I think that's really cool, even especially working with like, not only like vendor friends like Brooke, but like, especially in this community in New Orleans, I would say there's like a strong niche between all of us that we like work, and we just like go up and beyond and just keep, just like working with one another.
We're all a team.
I just love that.
We're all a team. And I think even if you're direct competition, there's still that camaraderie there, and everybody's rooting for each other and wanting people to succeed. And I think there's plenty of business to go around, and it's one of those things where if I'm booked, I have a handful of planners that I love to refer, and I get business from them as well. So I think
I
there's a
love it.
seat for everybody at the table for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna slightly dip into this. All right, so when this whole COVID scenario thing happened, I just want to give like a huge fist air pump. I don't know how to do super cheesy, I know, but to Brooke on this because we've worked with so many different clients and it was like as far as spring brides, everything was like super unfortunate, but we just lifted everything and then we all shifted and we've all worked and moved. And one thing that I love working with Brooke, and especially or even our incredible talented wedding planners, I feel like everyone's type A just came out and they're like, okay, this is the game plan and this is what we're gonna do. 1, 2, 3, you good, you good, you good? Great, contract. So
Yeah, definitely.
I love that. I personally did love that.
Yeah, I think it says a lot about our industry too, and we might have an advantage over others because we have hurricanes in New Orleans, so we're not newbies when it comes to moving a wedding. And usually when we have to move a wedding, it might be by like a couple weekends and never a season, or even with rain. New Orleans, the weather's so unpredictable, so we're so used to having those rain plans in place and trying to pivot whenever we need to. And so I think that our clients are lucky in that way that they are working with such great vendors in New Orleans where we are like, we're not so new to this. But I do think it was a whole different level with COVID for sure. And it really just showed how resilient we are and how much of, again, I keep going to like the team, like teamwork makes the dream work. And I think that it showed everybody's true colors and how we were able to band together and get this done for our clients and in a professional way and also like a supportive way and a compassionate way. Cause I think that's kind of where I'm coming from is like, I always want clients to feel good. And I think that's like, maybe I'm like type 2 on the Enneagram. I'm like all about feeling, making sure everybody's okay. But also we have like that type A side and I am like a 2-wing 3. So I'm very organized and I'm very like on the ball. Let's get it done. So I think all that combined, it definitely helped get my brides taken care of. And I'm just thankful that my vendors were so flexible and understanding and just working with me on all that.
Yo, it's been so good, especially like working in New Orleans vendor teams that they like just go for their clients, like everyone like works together. And even like during the season as like vendor friends, they would call in and be like, how are you doing? You good? Yeah. You good? Okay, good. Are you okay? Like that's how I feel like we've been just like checking in on each other, and it's definitely a strong community. I don't know any about other cities and their wedding industry, but I will say like I do know New Orleans wedding industry, and it is a very strong and very good community. And I'm gonna brag about that any day about us. So
me too.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, so just wrapping this up. All right, a few more questions. Is there anything you want to say to like future brides, a Brooke Casey wedding bride? What do you want to tell her?
Yeah, I think I just want to tell them like I'm here for you. So current brides, of course, like they know this. I'm here for you. I'm on your team. I will go to bat for you. And future clients. So, I think about, especially whenever I was redoing my website and trying to figure out like my market and what I was looking for in a client. To me, my ideal client I found is just somebody that I really connect with on like a personal level. And I know that's not always like the popular opinion because I was like, what's your ideal budget? What's your ideal this? And they really vary. Like I've had clients with like 6-figure budgets. I've had clients, their budget was $50,000 and I've loved them equally the same. And I've loved their weddings for different reasons. And I think it all comes down to the bride. So for me, I've been really trying to get my brides on the phone potential clients on the phone before they book, just to like see if her and I connect. And I think it's a great way to like kind of eliminate any price shopping and just for her and too, to make sure that she's working with somebody that she trusts. And I think the trust thing is huge. So if you trust me and you're trusting these vendor referrals that I'm giving you, then I think the process is going to be so smooth. But I think what happens is if a bride books a planner just because and doesn't really feel that connection, and then I think that's whenever there's like a disconnect and then they don't have the smoothest planning process. And what's great about our industry is there's so many talented planners. There's so much business to go around. So if you don't connect with me, that's okay, because it's leaving that day open for somebody who will. So I do feel lucky in that aspect. And then I know we've talked about like a lot of wedding planners and you know, how we do have such a great community. And I think for anybody who wants to get in this wedding industry, like the biggest piece of advice that I would have is just, you know, figure out what makes you happy and do that. Because I think we can get caught up in like, what's the right thing to do, quote unquote, like right thing to do. What's the right way to do things? What, you know, what I should be doing versus what I actually enjoy doing. And I think, you know, I'm no stranger to that too. And I've gotten caught up in what I thought my clients' ideal budget would be and what I think my pricing should be and all that. But I think just stay true to what you enjoy and the clients that you're attracting, and pay attention to that. Pay attention to who you enjoy working with, not just with clients, but with vendors, and work on those relationships, and don't feel pressured to do what everybody else is doing. And Sarah Becker, I'll give her a little shout out. Whenever I first started my business, she told me a quote, and I think about this all the time whenever I need to just like check myself. And she says, you know, great for her, not for me. So I think you can support other people and let them do what they're doing and not pressure them to do what you're doing, and cheer them on for their journey and like what they want to do, while still staying true to yourself. And I know it's always going to be a constant struggle, but I try to like keep that in mind whenever I'm feeling like, oh, should I change things up? Or, oh, she's doing this and she's really successful, right? Should I not be doing this? So I think it's just a great piece of advice for sure.
Say that again. Good for her.
Great for her, not for me.
Great for her, not for me. I like that a lot. I like that a lot, especially like when you're first starting off in the industry. Like I would say like the moments of insecurity, and I can't say that will go away. Right. Do you choose to entertain it? That's a whole nother conversation. Definitely. But great for her, not for me. That's really good. I like that a lot.
And I think Amy Poehler said that, but Sarah told me. So I'm going to say Sarah told me, and then I don't know where she got it, but I think it might be Amy Poehler, who I absolutely love. So yeah, I'll take it.
Amy Poehler, Sarah Becker. I'm going to say, like, guys, I might as well.
You know.
Yeah. Gosh. Silly donkey. Yes, that is so beautiful. Ah, so good. All right, Brooke, I'm not going to take much of your time, but thank you so much for today and stopping in. And you guys, make sure you follow Brooke at Brooke Casey Weddings. Make sure that you follow her and her adventures and her Mitch and her pup and puppies. And it's not only her, she has, shout out to Natasha, who is her right hand, who goes up. Like, she is just so cool. Like, Natasha, I've done so many ones with her. Anyways, BrookeCasey.Casey Weddings. Make sure you follow her. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in. And I'll make sure to check in next week. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah. Bye, guys.